Do you know that I'm deaf? I'm deaf, and I grew up deaf. And my brother's deaf as well. Well, so we had so many good times. But, man, the communication was just awful. My parents were so against us signing. It was terrible. It was almost illegal to sign at home or at school or when we were out playing. We couldn't sign. We had to speak. We had to speak to each other. But we were both deaf, so there was just so much miscommunication, and it was awful. All the miscommunication led to us constantly fighting. We would just bigger and just, berate one another. We were fighting all the times, and that happened for many years. That happened until I went to the Gallaudet to learn sign language, and I learned my ABCs there. And I learned it, and I gestured, and I'd learn, and I'd pick up things. And the same thing happened with my brother. He went to a deaf school and learned sign language over there. He would learn, and we'd interact with each other, and we would pick up certain things. So one time I went home for Thanksgiving weekend, and my brother, he came home for Thanksgiving weekend as well. We both sat there and we looked at each other, and we went to a speak, and our throats were dry. It just felt, wrong to sign. So my brother and I, we both went into a room and shut the door. My parents were against signing, so he and I sat close together, and we just started signing a little bit here and there, and it kept going. So 1 hour, and then another hour goes by, and we're just sitting there, we're talking, we're conversing. And then what happened was my father, he came in the door, and my brother and I, we didn't realize that he had saw us. So we're sitting there, we're signing, we're conversing to each other, just going back and forth, and my father is just mesmerized, looking at us back and forth while we're sitting there talking and using sign language. And all of a sudden we look and see that the dad, we looked and we saw our dad, and we remember that he's against us signing, so we just stopped. And he turned around and walked out the door. My brother and I decided that, okay, we're done signing for now. And I went back to Gallaudet. My brother went back to his school. And then we come back home for Christmas break. And we'll see my dad, and we start talking, we're speaking. And my dad, all of a sudden, he signs, hi. I was absolutely floored. My mouth dropped. You're signing now? Why? Why did you change your mind? I don't understand. Like, all these years you were against us signing, and now you want to support sign language? What's going on? So my dad had said, I admit it, I was wrong. Do you remember that time that your brother and I were sitting in that room, just sitting there talking to each other, and I walked in, but you guys didn't know that I was there? Do you remember that? I said, yeah, I remember. Because, that was the first time that I saw you two communicating with each other. All those years before was just so much fighting from the miscommunication. And I realized you two sitting in that room, talking to each other, you were civilized people. So I decided from that moment on I would learn sign language. And for that, I am sorry.